You should, in the course of this meeting, honorable commissioners and members that will be participating in this discussion, deliberate on the challenges caused by vaccine hesitancy all over the country, either as a result of misinformation or disinformation. We have to deal with that because that is a major militant against wider coverage for the vaccinations. It is expected that you will come with policy alternatives as solutions. Let me state, however, that federal government shall very shortly unveil its decision on mandatory vaccination for every employee in its service. We are working on a protocol. We are working on a protocol that will make vaccine mandatory for every employee in the public service. We're trying to hedge up the supply of vaccines and also fine-tune the policy. It is important that we lead by example. When the president and the vice president and those that are in government position began to take the vaccination, it became easier for the ordinary citizens to follow suit. So that will be put in place very, very soon as we increase the supply of vaccines. The federal government also expects that you will find time as policy and decision makers to address the root causes of incessant labor crisis in the health sector. This is extremely important. We are now in autopilot as far as crisis in the health sector is concerned. We've been navigating, trying to resolve the one with the National Association of Resident Doctors. The Nigerian Medical Association has served a notice. I have received a threat from Jehesu. So in the final analysis, the whole system will come to a total stagnation if that happens. But you have primary responsibilities as commissioners in your states to deal with these issues at the subnational level. Federal government has got a responsibility of policy formulation and direction, but most of the implementations, most of these hospitals are in the states, though some part owned by the federal government, but most of the institutions are owned by the states. And these doctors serve in these facilities. But I believe truly that something drastic and revolutionary ought to happen in the health sector for us to get out of this quagmire. I don't know how it will happen, but we will be depending on you as the operators at the state level to come up with policies and resolutions that will help government take a decision in this regard. Before I conclude my address, I will continue to make this passionate appeal like I've made in the past, that in the midst of a pandemic, strike action is not helpful to anybody, whatever the reason for the strike action is. In the midst of a pandemic, because our primary responsibility is to try as much as possible as a government and as a people to bring succor to our people, not to bring misery to our people. I believe as you return back to your states at the conclusion of this exercise, you will lend your voice to making a passionate appeal that dialogue and meetings and engagements is the best way out of the present problem. I would like to use this opportunity to appreciate the numerous support received through our development partners and organizations such as the Car COVID, Aliko Dangote Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Gavi, USAID, FCDO, EU, World Bank, GSC, JICA, UNICEF, and other United Nations agencies. I want to assure you that we do not take your partnership for granted. We are mindful of the fact that you represent international organizations and some of you represent your nations. And we believe that this friendship is supposed to be nourished, cherished, and sustained. Because individually we will not be able to solve the problems of the world, but I think collectively we will be able to ameliorate and reduce the heightened problems of the world.